You need to find yourself a new cell phone or something a little bigger.
Yeah, I know. This is basically an iPad Junior. If they made iPads that made phone calls, I would just use an iPad. I mean, it's quite large. So I am pumped for today, and I'm pumped for today because we've got a guest that's going to talk about, well, golf. And it's not like there's a specific focus point. There's not a product like, T-Link, or there's not golf is what the focus of the next half an hour is. We have got a laundry list of questions, and I am pumped to just learn more about him, but we'll get to him in a second. We got Jason Boslow with us from Shop Junior Golf. Jason, what's up, man?
What's happening?
And we got Les Bailey from, where are you from? I don't even remember. You're some 9 something.
Back 9 Media.
Back 9 Media. Okay. I never remember where you're from. You'll have to
write that down and so you can remember it.
It's actually more fun for me. We need to update your signature too, because your signature still says that you're from Pro Golf Now, and I don't think that you work for them anymore. So don't tell them. Shh. But we've got a guest that it's kind of fun to sit here and talk with him because we've known each other online for quite a while, and I'm going to convince him to come play in my golf tournament next year. But until we get to that, we have Ryan Young from, well, what is it? Golf Nut? Front 9, Back 9, what is it called? I don't know.
Front9back9.com and the Golf Nut Podcast.
Awesome. So, like I said, you've got a lot of things going on as it relates to the game of golf, and I'm pumped to talk about all of those things. But take a couple of minutes, introduce yourself, tell us who you are, what you do, and tell us what makes you a golf nut.
Okay. So, thanks, Ricky. Thanks, Jason. Thanks, Les. It's fun to be here, excited to be here. I know Ricky booked me, several months ago, so I've been waiting patiently since then.
Oh, it's a year ago.
Again.
Yeah, it might have been a year ago. I hope you've not been sitting there actually waiting because it's been a long time.
Again, Ryan Young from front9back9.com and the Golf Nut Podcast. Really just a little background on the golf blog. I launched it about 5 years ago. It was November 2009, so I guess we're coming up on 6 years now. Just really launched it for really just my basic love for the game, really just how anybody gets started with a golf blog or a golf writing, golf podcast, just the love of the game, just wanted to talk to it. Ironically, it was around the same time that Tiger was going through his whole post-Thanksgiving issues back in 2009, so it was a couple days after that. I guess that's, might be a timing issue, but launched the golf blog, just started writing, and I guess over the past 5-6 years, Twitter, Facebook, Google+, really came along, just started really interacting with a lot of other golfers, and it's been fun. I've always wanted to kind of start a podcast over the last couple of years, so I launched the Golf Nut podcast probably earlier this year. I think it was around March or April, so it's been really fun. It's good times. There's a lot of fun people on Twitter and Google Plus to talk about golf. There's a lot of people out there that love golf, so it's just kind of what I do. Just try to have fun. And I have a full-time job during the day. I have a family at home, a little 2.5-year-old running around. So try to get to play every single weekend. But I have an understanding wife that doesn't care if I go play golf, so I guess it's all good.
I like that. It sounds like you got a lot of things going on. So as a writer, I'm a blogger too. Les, I guess he writes sometimes. As a writer and as a blogger, how do you overcome writer's block? Like, I mean, you had about 6 months of content with Tiger's debacle, but how do you, when you sit down and you're like, how do you overcome that?
It's tough. It's probably one of the biggest obstacles that I face. With golf, let's just say with a big tournament like a major or the Players or maybe a WGC event, it's kind of easy because there's always a big storyline that you can kind of write about. But if it's a smaller event, there's maybe not much going on in the golf world. I try to write something that might not be associated with maybe the PGA Tour. Maybe it's just an off-topic golf item, but it's tough. It really is. I mean, just sit down and kind of cruise the headlines, cruise Twitter, and just kind of see if there's anything that kind of catches your mind, kind of form an opinion about it, and then just kind of sit down and write about it. So that's just kind of how I overcome it. I don't really have anything really that I do specifically, but just kind of try to formulate some opinions on some headlines or something on Twitter.
So you don't go out to the woods, get into a cabin, and lock yourself in for
No.
24 hours to think about your next topic.
I might go play 18 holes and make a triple bogey or something. It just irritates me. So then I have something to write about, right?
I like that.
But,
Well, so I have a question. We actually have somebody that steps in for us every once in a while. His name is Connie Black. He works for Tee It Up, Texas. He is in your neck of the woods. He's somewhere around San Antonio, Houston area. So I'm curious if you guys have ever worked together or know each other or anything like that. He's also a pretty big member in the community.
I don't remember the exact time. I wrote a couple articles about it, but Connie and I played golf at the Palmer course at La Cantera here in San Antonio. This was probably 3-4 years. Yeah, Troon Golf Course. This had to be maybe 3-4 years ago, but they were doing a promotion. The director of tournament operations or something out at the Palmer course had reached out to a bunch of bloggers locally here around San Antonio, and then wanted us to come out and hosted us. Had a great time, and I was actually paired with Connie, so I met him. I don't know if he remembers that, but me, my dad, and Connie and his daughter played golf out at the Palmer course and had a good time. So.
Oh, that's really cool.
That is really cool. I didn't know that. I would have invited
you to total stab in the dark.
Yeah. That's random, but I guess golf is such a small, it's a global game and it's a global sport. But in that respect, that's a small world. I mean, that's really cool.
Yeah. It was a fun time, and Troon took care of us, or Palmer course took care of us that day. So free buffet, or free lunch, free golf. So it was good.
That's awesome. Les, you haven't played the Palmer course because, well, maybe you have. I don't know. I'm sure you've lived there. But what's your first question, buddy?
Well, I've never lived in San Antonio. Lived in Dallas area, but I wrote my questions out on Monday morning, and it's not looking so good right now. But my first question was, do you think Jordan Spieth can win the FedEx Cup?
I was talking about that on Twitter earlier this week. I thought Jordan was going to win it all. I thought he was going to pick up a couple tournaments. I mean, I guess he still could, of course, but I thought he was going to pick up a couple victories over the next 4 events and then pick up the $10 million. And I think he has a chance to possibly pocket $25 million on the golf, close to $25 million on the golf course this year. So that's what I was hoping for, to see him get close to that $25 million from the golf course. So
I think he's at about 18 now, isn't he? Somewhere in that vicinity.
I thought he was at 11. I think he's at 11 or 12. I thought, and then if he picked up a couple million from wins, and then the $10 million at the end. So I thought Jordan was going to win it. I know he's struggling this week so far. There's still 3 events left. I figure he's going to play probably. I haven't seen his schedule, but I assume he's probably going to play the next 3 events as well. So he has a good chance. I mean, he'll bounce back. So
yeah, it looks like he might lose his #1 ranking this week.
Yeah.
I mean, wins 2 majors, loses his #1 ranking. Go figure.
Yeah, go figure.
I drove by his neighborhood last night.
They're so close.
On the way to my brother's house. He lives in a neighborhood not far from my brother. Not like I drove by his house, because you can't really get to it, but
You can get to Tigers, though. You can drive right by Tigers. So
I didn't know that.
I think Jordan needs to get on Tigers level, or vice versa. I don't know. So I have to know, what makes a certified #golf nut? What makes you a golf nut? I'm sure I know the answer, because I probably am one. But in your eyes, what makes a golf nut?
I guess just somebody eats, sleeps, and plays golf, loves golf, wants to talk about golf. People here, my wife, she doesn't really enjoy golf all that much, but she's like,
you're still married?
Golf again. Yeah.
Always a golf winner, huh?
Always have golf on. Always have golf up on the phone when I'm away from the TV and looking at all the apps, the golf apps and Twitter. I guess just it's a great game. It just it brings you back. It just keeps bringing you back and back. No matter if you play a great round or a bad round, you always want to come back and go shoot for another good round. And I think that's just really what makes you a golfer. And just really the love and passion for the game.
That's awesome. So I know Les wants to talk about my favorite topic. So Les, I know you have a question about the big cat.
There you go. What do you think a Tiger comeback would mean for golf?
Oh, I think it would be huge. I think let's just take last week, for example. in North Carolina. I mean, look at the ratings. Look at what he did when he was near the top of the leaderboard. Just coming into the weekend, the Golf Channel and then CBS saw record ratings. So your non-golf nuts and your non-passionate golfers, I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch no matter what. If Tiger's in the field or not, I'm gonna watch. But that kind of jumping the line golf fan, that casual sports fan, casual golf fan, they're the ones who tuned in and they're the ones that drove the ratings. So it would be huge for golf.
That's pretty typical of Tigers.
The weekend that Tiger was playing so well, my mom and I were talking about that. I was like, Tiger's just good for golf. People watch it, people talk about it. When he's in the mix or winning, it's a different vibe, a different buzz.
Yeah. I wonder what's going to happen when he retires. Like, it's going to happen, and I don't want to say it's going to happen sooner than later, but it is. And it's unfortunate. Like, the Tiger effect is real. I mean, one guy sells 46,000 extra tickets to a tournament he's never played in, that a tournament nobody's ever heard of. I mean, that's a big deal. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens if and when he retires. So, Les, are you wearing the hat? I can't see. Les, show me your hat. There you go. This episode, as all episodes, are sponsored by greenskeeper.org, and I feel like the team at Greenskeeper needs to, do less work, because last week he was sending me emails copying people that I didn't even know who he was copying. This week he was misspelling things left and right. He even apologized this morning. He was like, sorry, I spelled some things wrong. I'm tired. But anyway, we got a couple of questions from some members of greenskeeper.org, and Johnny GK wants to know, first he said, established in 2009, congratulations to that. It takes a lot of dedication. What are some of your favorite topics to write about? I mean, and golf is not an easy, that is an easy answer. You're not allowed to say golf. So what are some of your favorite topics to write about?
I hate the wraparound season. I just hate that PGA Tour wraparound season. I dislike it. I will write passionately about that. I've written several articles on that. I hate it. I guess, Tiger. Can I say Tiger?
Yes.
Am I not allowed to say Tiger?
Only if you like to write about Tiger, you can say Tiger.
I like to write about Tiger. I mean, it's easy. I have a lot of opinions about Tiger, but
well, if they're negative opinions, you and I may have to have a little scuffle, because Tiger is why golf is what it is today. But that's beside the point. We don't want to talk about Tiger. Well, we do want to. We can talk about him. What else besides Tiger and besides your hatred of the wraparound season?
I like writing about my kind of improving my game. Kind of tracking. I'm a big numbers guy, so I do a lot of tracking of my game. The number of putts, the number of fairways I hit, the number of the yardages of my drives, total driving, things like that. So I keep a lot of stats, and I like writing about that stuff as well. So
that's really cool.
I guess those would kind of be my top topics.
Somebody else in the room that keeps track of their putting, that's Jason.
I need to get better about stuff like that. Not for my game, because my game is not even worth talking about, but my son's game. And I know that that's something that I need to get better about, is tracking his stats and things like that. So
yeah,
I should get the app.
I like doing graphs with it and all kinds of things. So
get Arcos.
I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to that.
Arcos does it all for you. It's fantastic.
So do you have Arco, or do you do this manually? That's a good question.
I do it manually in Excel. So
yeah. So I may think that I'm funnier than I really am, but I was going to say, never mind, because it was going to be funny, Jason. But you have a question about fantasy golf, and I actually like this question because we don't talk about fantasy golf a lot. And being a numbers guy, I have a feeling that, because he plays, I know how he's going to answer this. But Jason, fantasy golf.
So I've never played fantasy golf. I see the commercials all the time, and now you've got the Draft King thing, whatever it is, that's got all that money associated with it. And I was, reading some of your blog stuff, and I noticed that you were talking about fantasy golf. How does that work, and do you enjoy it? Is it something fun?
I do enjoy it. I start off strong every year, and I tell myself I'm going to play the PGAtour.com fantasy golf throughout the year, and they give away prizes, things like that. And then I always seem to fall off with my weekly schedules, my weekly lineups there. But I've really migrated to DraftKings lately, so I do play a lot of fantasy golf and pick a lot of lineups on DraftKings. It's just more. I just feel. I feel that there's a lot more opportunity there to interact with people, have fun. So.
And it seems like it has like a shorter attention span where like if you miss it.
Yeah, that could be it. I do have a short attention span, so it's weekly, so I don't have to keep track of it throughout the entire year. But I do play. Yahoo has one, PGAtour.com has one, and then I really I play a lot of the DraftKings. So I really do enjoy fantasy golf. It's fun, and with DraftKings especially, you can make maybe a couple extra bucks here and there. It's nothing, no life-changing money, but a couple extra bucks with.
Well, that commercial makes it seem like it's life-changing money. Like they have one commercial of this guy in a bar, and all of a sudden he's a millionaire, and I'm like, I want to play.
So DraftKings has for each of the majors this year, it was they had $1 million matchmaker, I think is what they called it, but the first place prize was $1 million. So I get that. That's life-changing money, but there's 250,000 people in that.
Once you take taxes out of that, you're only looking at like $500,000.
Yeah,
oh,
true.
Darn. Don't quit your day job.
I'll still take it.
So the European Tour, and more than the LPGA Tour, but the European Tour doesn't get a lot of ink, but the LPGA Tour definitely doesn't, and I know Les follows the LPGA. So Les, I love this question.
Well, that wasn't my next question, but I will.
It is your next question because
I'll take it. Okay. Do you have any plans with your blog and your podcast to start covering some of the European Tour and the LPGA?
To be honest, I haven't done a lot of LPGA. I've done a little European Tour, I guess, but LPGA I can say I've probably done zero. I do tell myself on a regular basis that I need to start covering more of the LPGA Tour just to maybe get some more readers, some more subscribers, things like that. But
yeah,
the ratings are great. I mean, Brooks been doing great for that game. Seems like she's real popular. And I mean, I don't right now, but yes, I really like to start covering some more and learning more about those players and on the LPGA and then on the European Tour as well.
Well, you got the Solheim Cup coming up here real soon, and that's a really good time to jump in.
You should go talk to Kelly Shaw, find out what she's doing on her.
Where has she been? I haven't seen her post for a while.
Yeah, I don't know. Figured I'd give her a shout though.
Yeah.
Hi, Kelly.
Yeah, I'm gonna send her a link to this and be like, hey, you get talked about, so come back and post content.
Yeah, it's something I need to do. It's popular, so it's something I do want to make a conscious effort to start doing.
Johnny GK also wants to know what your plans are, and I kind of want to know this too, with the podcast. I mean, it's a fairly new venture for you, so what's the goal and the direction of the podcast?
So I was chatting with Les before we started here, and I really want to start trying to do it a couple times a week. I just purchased some equipment for the podcasting. I was doing it with a cheap headset that I had. Maybe try to get better quality sound, some better equipment. I kind of want to do it twice a week, maybe like a Monday, Thursday thing, or maybe Monday, Friday. And then like Les recommended, trying to get some guests on there to kind of, chat back and forth with, so it's not just me talking, and get other people's opinions as well. So that's kind of the direction that I want to head towards into the future, into the fall. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
When you have your Tiger episode, I know a guy. I'm just saying. If you need a guest, I know a guy.
Hey, when we get off the call, I'll send you some information on a microphone, one that we use at work that we did a ridiculous amount of research on, and it is fantastic for podcasts and video recordings and things like that. So I'll send that to you when we get off the call.
Cool. Cool. I'll take a look at it.
Cool. So I know you're from San Antonio. I am in the Dallas area. Curious if you've ever played the TPC course down in San Antonio. I've been to some work events there, but never played. But curious if you've ever played there.
I have. I've played the Oaks course twice. I've played the Canyons course once. I volunteer each year at the Valero Texas Open down here. So with those 4 days of volunteering, I do get a $25 round out there. So
nice.
It's a really good deal. So I've played out there 3 times. It's a great course. The Oaks course is probably, I prefer the Oaks a little better, but a little more. But both courses are really great.
Les, back to you.
Yeah, let's go back to Tiger Woods.
Yes, let's.
Other than Tiger Woods, why haven't FedEx Cup winners been successful on the in the majors and the rest of the year? You know.
That's a great question. That's let's look back at Bill Haas a couple of years ago. He won the FedEx Cup, but he kind of just I think he plays well in the majors, I guess, but he hasn't really came close to winning any.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just those 4 weeks. Everybody might be peaking. They might be looking forward to one last strong push before they go on a 2 or 3 month vacation. Maybe they're playing great golf at the time. They're coming into form, and maybe they just have those last 4 weeks are really great for them, and that grind throughout the rest of the year maybe gets to them just a little bit more. And it's a great question. It's something that I've never really noticed that until you brought that up right now.
That may be the reason Jordan is struggling, because he started playing back in December in Australia. And
in Australia, yeah, and he's
pretty much
he's
had his
played all the big events this year.
Yeah,
and, that takes a lot out of you.
That's what Henrik Stenson said, that after he won the FedEx Cup and the race to Dubai that one year, is that he just wore out. Didn't do anything hasn't done anything since.
So normally I take questions from Twitter and other social networks during, and this isn't much of a question as a comment to Les, not to get too far off of the guest of honor, but a certain someone, and I will keep his name anonymous for his protection, said Les and his bells and whistles, shut up. So when it went off the first time, and it was like, well, ESPN should be sponsoring this, and then it went off again, and then it went off a third time, I was even thinking, I'm going to send him an IM here and be like, Les, shut up, turn your stuff down. So to the individual that said that, thank you for noticing, knowing that our viewers are watching and concerned with your ridiculous gadgets. I appreciate that. So,
well, I'll turn my iPhone off then.
Well, from this point forward, you're done with questions for the day. Back to you, Jason.
So my last question is what is your favorite part about having a golf-related site?
Just interacting with people who kind of have the same golf nuttiness that I do, I guess. Met a lot of cool people. They've going back to Connie, that's a great example of I didn't even know Connie before then. We played golf together. Now we interact with each other on Twitter and Google Plus, things like that. So that's really cool, learning about people's background, what their thoughts are on just different golf topics, really.
That's really cool. Well, it's something to say about a guy that can keep not only a blog going for so long and have consistent content, but you've got a niche. I write about beer and spirits and music and all kinds of stuff, travel. I've got a lot of things that interest me. Well, your blog is golf, and I write about golf a lot too, but it's a lot to say for somebody that's been able to do that and keep that going for so long. So I applaud that. And one of the members, Ringworld, who is a member of greenskeeper.org, this is kind of a plug to get you to maybe come write for them. But he wants to know, would you ever be interested in contributing to greenskeeper.org? That's a pretty cool community. I'm not a member of it, and Johnny, I'm sorry, I'm not a member. I should be, but that'd be something down to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Be a contributor, write a few articles for him. So I'll piggyback on what you said, Ricky. I am not a member myself either, so I have checked it out before, and maybe I need to go over there and join and check it out. But yeah, absolutely, I'd love to write a couple articles and share my thoughts, and whether it's you want to provide a topic for me or let me pick a topic, I'd be glad to do it.
I think that's cool, and their whole model is know before you go. The idea is that you know what to expect. So maybe you go play a golf course and leave some reviews. You write about airification, etc. That's, as a golfer, when you go to a golf course and you pay to play and you're all excited to play, and then all of a sudden the the greens got quarter-size holes punched in, and you're like, wait a minute, I didn't sign up for this. So that's the whole idea behind greenskeeper.org. But
cool.
And speaking of that, I owe you guys a blog post too, so I will get on that this weekend.
Who, me or them?
No, greenskeeper.
Why do you owe them a blog post? Write a blog post for me first. You know me longer. Okay, so I'm out of questions too because my favorite part's coming up, and to a guy that plays golf, I one of these days I'm going to change this format to guys like you and just do a whole 18 questions because the back nine is intended to be just fun, random golf-related questions, but we could have asked you golf-related questions all day. So, are you ready for your back nine?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Here we go. What golf ball are you playing?
I play Titleist Pro V1Xs.
Okay, so let's talk about opinions real quick. The X over the regular. Why the X? Because I don't like the X. It does not spin as much for me around the greens. I hit it further off the tee, but I don't get as much spin. So why the X?
I'm kind of opposite of you. I'd rather have that extra length off the tee box, and I've never really spun a ball that much around the greens, anyways. I don't even spin a regular Pro V1 all that much, so I don't really see a big difference. I'd rather have the distance off the tee.
Okay, that's a good answer. I like that. So speaking of front nine, back nine. Speaking of nine, do you ever just go play 9 holes or 6 holes or 3 holes? Do you ever just go out just to play a few?
I have in the past. When the time will change here in the next couple months, I've gone out and played 9 after work before it gets dark. So I don't do it often, but I will do it during the week if I have a chance to get out of work and head on over there.
Awesome. So what is your favorite golf course? There's so many to choose from, and if you pick a Troon course, I guess that's okay.
Just in San Antonio or anywhere?
Anywhere that you've played. And sometimes people are like, oh, I have to have played it. Yes, you have to have played it, but what's your favorite course that you've played?
Okay, so I mean, this one's pretty easy. I just got back from a Boston trip, and I played 2 rounds at TPC Boston, so that's by far my favorite course that I've played so far. It was superb shape. They were getting ready for the tournament this next week, so that's by far my favorite right now.
All right. Have you played True North? This is not one of your questions. This is a side question.
No, I haven't.
All right. Well, then you haven't played your favorite golf course yet. I'm just saying. Who is in your perfect foursome?
Ooh, I have to put my dad. I love playing with my dad. I'll put Tiger in there, and I'll put Jack Nicklaus in there as well.
That's a good one.
So Jack, Tiger, and my dad.
If anybody ever asks me that question, I'm like, Tiger. Next question. I don't need 2 other people. I'm bogged down in the time I can spend with the man. Have you ever had an ace?
No, I have not. The closest I came was about 1 foot. But I've never had an ace, no.
Well, did you make the putt, at least?
I did.
Ryan Belangi posted about he had driver 5-iron to a foot for eagle, and I was like, yeah, but did you make the putt?
I saw that earlier. He was like, I'm going to quit golf. And you were like, did you make the putt, though?
Okay, so we talked a little bit about the LPGA, and you don't write about it, but do you have a favorite LPGA Tour player, and if so, who is it?
I'd probably say I like Michelle Wee. I'd probably have to say Michelle Wee.
Okay, I like that. So let's have a drink. What are you ordering? It doesn't matter if we're on the golf course. We're on the 19th hole.
Okay, I'm probably drinking. I'll probably order a Crown.
Okay,
maybe a Crown. Straight up. Maybe a splash of water.
Okay, I like that. It's better than diet soda or even worse. Bud Light, yeah.
Hey, lighten up now. I'll turn my phone back on.
Oh yeah, don't do that. You're gonna lose viewers if you do that. So, good transition, Les, to this question. Now, be nice if you have a different answer than what my answer would be. But does Tiger break Jack's record? Why or why not?
I
love that he has to think about it.
I don't think he's gonna do it anymore. I was on his side for so many years. Over the last year, I don't think he's gonna do it anymore.
Okay, side.
But
question.
I reserve the right to change my mind if he comes back next year. Maybe wins 1, maybe wins 2.
I was just gonna say if he wins at Augusta, then does that change? I mean, that changes everything.
I think it does. If he wins at Augusta. next year, then I think that changes everything, and I reserve my. I can change my mind.
All right, I like that. That's a good answer. I like that. And your final question for Friday Foursome is, what's next? And don't say lunch because I'm hungry and lunch is next for me. But what's next for you and the blog and the podcast? And what's the future look like?
Well, I hope to keep growing front9back9.com and the Golf Nut podcast. There's a couple other things that I'm working on. I'm working on kind of a golf training aids, kind of an independent golf training aids retail store right now online. So kind of maybe start working on growing that into the future. But really just, keep playing golf, keep writing about it, keep talking about it, and right now I got a lot of aspirations. I want to start playing some of the bigger courses around the nation. Pebble Beach, TPC Sawgrass, things like that. Maybe some troon courses out in Scottsdale. So
good answer.
Yes, very good answer. I was like, and you want to play where? Well, that is awesome.
But yeah,
well,
that's kind of where I'm going.
That's going to be fun to watch you do all that. And when you get to TPC Sawgrass on 17, let me know on Twitter right there when you're standing on that tee box how guys on tour miss that green, because that green is the size of a barn. It is 135 yards, and it boggles my mind they can't just flip a wedge into the middle of that green and carry on. So
funny story. My dad played that course. I want to say it was 12, 15 years ago, something like that. But every time if I'm watching that golf tournament with my dad, he's always like, "Yeah, I hit 9-iron, and I made the putt from about 3 feet. So yeah, I birdied that hole." So he always reminds that he made awesome. Birdie on that hole 12, 15 years ago. So
maybe your dad should go on tour. Jason, thank you so much for joining us. Get back to work. Let's go have a Bud Light and do whatever retired people do.
I think I will. It's Friday night.
Thank you so much for joining us. And I'm not going to give it away, Les, but the person that told you to turn down your speaker and your sounds and gadgets is the guy that also likes to say, make less bogeys.